Guys, welcome back to the channel. In the previous video you saw me take out the block in this Forester here. You also saw me start taking apart the motor. Now I am now a homeowner, and as a family man and homeowner, that takes priority. And so essentially I had a lot of plans set out for that motor. I was planning on doing a refresh, but I don't think that it makes sense financially, just because I'm really trying to get this car back on the road so I could start driving it. So I sold the block to a lovely couple. They were actually rebuilding a Impreza for their son, and now we have the beautiful block that we took out from the previous Forester that I actually bought in order to get the block. You don't realize how expensive it is once you start buying gaskets and everything, and then while I'm in there do this XYZ, that you really don't realize how much money it is. I mean, just in this block alone, everything is upwards past $500. That might not seem like a lot for you guys, but when you think about it, to spend $500, close even more, $600-700, and not have a running car, so priority to get the car running. So the plan is to take this beautiful block that is laying so preciously on the floor and put it on the engine stand. What we're trying to do is essentially change the head gaskets on there, water pump, all the gaskets, and including the rear main seal. I didn't really notice this before, but it does seem like the rear main seal is going out or has already gone out. So luckily I have the parts here for that. If you guys made it this far in the video, guys, drop a like or a comment. This is kind of a learning process for me. I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm really stoked about the growth that we've had on this channel in the last 3 months. It's been great comments. Y'all are amazing. So let's continue with the video. Turns out the block is actually fine. The previous owner on this car actually redid the head gasket on it. They didn't clean the mating surface too well. They did use a MLS gasket. In my opinion, kind of looks cheap. I actually went with the turbo gasket, which you guys will see, and it's probably gonna have a better fit, but I do need to clean this block up. Not really sure how to do this in terms of what's the most efficient way, just because there's so much crud on the outside and on the inside of this block. I don't want to wash it and then it causes problems later on. I don't know if I should pressure wash it, degrease it. I don't know. We'll see. As a car enthusiast, a father, a husband who works a lot and every day, I drive my Subaru every single day. and I struggle with it because it doesn't want to stay clean. SUMA Detail was kind enough to send us a bottle of his ceramic coating spray. I used it on my car. The results are actually really good. It says that it's good up to 30 to 60 days, and you only have to do it once all over the car, and then you reapply the coat. Then if you guys are interested in this product, let me know. I'll leave an affiliate link down in the description. You can use the code OBD Mafia for 10% off on all of your shopping. And you're like me and you always want your car to look clean, but you don't have a lot of time cleaning up your car. This product is for you. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you. Okay, so I'm still cleaning the block, and a couple things that I want to mention. One, I'm trying to clean the surface off as best as possible. The previous person that did this scored the surface, I don't know, a billion times. Not sure why. And guys, I just want to stress this. If you guys have an EJ251, 253, any kind of NA, the turbo gaskets work just the same. I mean, this is the part number for the one that I'm using. It's OEM Subaru, pretty genuine part here. I mean, if you guys are gonna do this job, I would suggest using an OEM gasket. It might be a little bit more, but you pay for the reliability. I mean, this looked like it had a coating on it, some sort of black felt, I guess, to help it seal better. But I mean, this gasket is trash. I mean, just feeling the two, you can feel which one's better. I mean, I don't know I really don't know. And you could see it's whatever it is was reacting with the coolant. So did not like the coolant that was being used. Subaru recommends using their OEM coolant, which I agree with, because it also has preservatives in there to help prolong the life of the head gasket. So just a tip there. But yeah, I was just using a razor blade to try to clean this off. I'm doing the other side right now, but guys, thank you. Stay tuned. So what's next is I'm gonna run a little bit of oil in the cylinder walls just to help lubricate things a little bit. I still got to replace the water pump, so I'm gonna do that now. And then the new parts have arrived that I was waiting for. Okay, so I took off the water pump and I started taking out the gasket here. Guys, if you are rebuilding or sealing anything, don't just use RTV as a solution. This person, instead of replacing the gasket, they just put RTV over it, and now it's like caked in there. So don't do this. Just take the gasket off and put a new gasket in. Like, RTV is good in some uses, but you don't need to seal every single thing with RTV. Okay, so I got the surface really clean so far, and I think it should made up pretty good. I used a straight edge to clean it off. This is the water pump that we're gonna put in, so let's do it. We're gonna use the same hardware, shouldn't be an issue. I sprayed some brake cleaner in there, so any particles that may have gotten into our water pump area, we should be good. All right, so I just almost made this mistake. So this kit actually comes with a new gasket for the thermostat, so make sure you guys put this on if you get the ANSI or ASIN kit. This is also a gasket that goes on the side of it goes right here on the side of the water pump, which I think is for so that these two surfaces don't repeatedly hit each other during operations. But yeah, so I'm gonna fix that now and we're gonna keep going. So now that the water pump is in, I'm gonna put the pulleys on. So all of these are GMB, which I think are OE, or they're not OEM, but in the kit, in the ASIN kit that I bought, it comes with it, so should be high quality. So now that the pulleys are in, I turn the block upside down, mainly because I want to put the oil cooler back on, which is right here, and I am going to clean it out with brake cleaner, and then I am going to put a new seal in, so I'll show you guys that. If you guys are doing a refresh on this type of motor, or you're having this weird oil leak near the oil filter, you can look for this part number. This is the OEM oil cooler gasket. So I'm gonna put this on and then I'm gonna put it on the block. So let's keep going, guys. So these are the heads. The heads look really good. The previous owner said that he got the machine. I'm gonna trust them. It was shortly before the car was wrecked, and so they should still be good. I'm gonna clean up the heads and then they're going to go on the block. Super stoked. I lied. I don't trust anybody when it comes to cars. I've seen a lot of shoddy work. I've seen my fair share of what the hell is that. So I am proud to announce that I actually got these heads resurfaced and cleaned up. So with that being said, shout out to Cylinder Head Exchange up in Marietta. Y'all are the best. I don't have assembly lube, so I'm just going to use Subaru's gear oil, and we're going to thread in these bolts by hand. There are two things that I want to mention about this process. So first thing, the head gasket, there's only one way it can fit on. You can't really get it wrong. The other thing is, I highly recommend getting the heads resurfaced. Subarus are a little bit quirky in the sense that the head does sometimes like to warp, and when it does, having a fresh, clean surface to work on is good. So I bought these head bolts. They're OEM head bolts. What I want to note here is that the two center bolts are actually painted black, and the reason for that is these bolts have a larger washer on them, so they don't fit in the corners here. So if If you get a bolt and it's not coated and you're trying to put it in the corner of the head and it's not fitting, do not force it in, because you're going to scratch the inside. You'll end up with metal shavings on the inside of the head. So what I want to just stress is making sure that you guys see this. If you don't see these 2 bolts, it probably means that they have a smaller washer, which is not a big deal, but just something to note. Most of the stress on the head is going to be in the middle anyways, so having a bigger washer helps distribute the force a bit better. So that's something I want to note. And yeah, so we're going to keep going. I have to now do the torque sequence for these heads. Alright, so I got the first head torqued down. I got the rocker arms bolted down. They're a little tight right now. I have to adjust the clearances. Alright, so we made a lot of progress so far. Both heads are on. All the timing equipment is on. Idler pulleys, all of the rocker arms are on. Everything is torqued. The only thing that is now pending is I have to do the valve adjustment. Probably not going to do that in this video. It's not that it's time consuming, but what I really want to do and spend time on is the oil pan. So this is why I have trust issues. Guys, when you have gasket makers, silicone, RTV, whatever, you do not use 2 gaskets. Don't use the existing gasket and then put RTV in there. Like, big no-no. When I took this block apart earlier in the video, you saw the same issue. When we ended up taking apart the water pump comes with its own gasket, and then he put RTV around that, or gasket maker, whatever it was. Do not do that. If it has a gasket, use the gasket. If it's leaking and the gasket is on, it's either not torqued properly or there's something wrong with either the gasket or the surface. So right now I am going to take the oil pan off. I didn't want to do this, but I need to redo the gasket. I cannot have the risk of this leaking and then now I have to get underneath the car, take the oil pan off. I'd rather just do it while the block is up. So stay tuned. Alright, so oil pan is off. Currently cleaning it because it's double gasketed, as I mentioned. Big no-no. So I think, guys, we're gonna end the video here. In the next video we'll be torquing down the rocker arms and doing the valve clearances, and then we could start putting on the timing belt. Guys, If you made it this far, you're a superstar. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.